In the previous session, we spoke about the importance of defining your recovery or your reboot. The next thing to be aware of is the different stages that you're going to be going through. Altogether, there are 5 stages, and I'm going to share how to identify where you are and also how to figure out when you're ready to move on to the next stage. Now, bear in mind, using our system, it does take about a year and a half to 2 years to progress through all the stages. But I don't want you to worry about that. You're not going to be using willpower. It's not going to be a drag. The purpose of this course is to make all these stages a part of your lifestyle. And in this session, we're going to begin with stage 1, which is known as the pre-reboot or the pre-recovery stage. The pre-reboot stage is the point where you haven't quite started the actual reboot or recovery process, but you are taking the first steps towards finally controlling your behavior. I'm going to share some of the keys to success for this stage. And I like to look at stage 1 as a stage that has 3 simple goals to accomplish in order for you to move on to the next stage. The first is you begin to recognize your compulsive behavior. There is no more denial. Secondly, you agree to learn how to control this behavior. And finally, you learn how to manage your withdrawal symptoms and any crises that brought you into a program like this. And to accomplish these goals, there are a few things you need. You need hope, you need trust, and you need to allow others to help you. And it's okay if these things don't come naturally to you. Most men who arrive at a program like this came feeling isolated, but self-sufficient. Most of us as men insist that we can handle things on our own. But if you want to beat your out of control behavior, you're going to need some help. And hope is the first key to success, because without hope, why would you even bother trying the system out? Allowing others to help and support you is the next key to success. Now, you probably haven't told anyone about your out of control behavior yet. And if you have, it's probably a close friend or two who you feel won't judge you. But you do need to allow a wider range of people in to support you through the reboot or the recovery process. Now, personally, before I started my reboot, I thought I was the only man dealing with this problem for so many years, and I carried that secret for too long. So much shame and guilt for not being able to control my sexual behavior. Now, imagine my relief when I finally discovered that there were so many men who struggled with the same problem. I no longer felt alone. I no longer felt isolated or weird. I was surrounded by men who understood. Now, I understand how challenging it is to allow people to help you at first. And I didn't want to let anyone in when I first started because of the shame I felt. I was used to handling things on my own, as you probably are. But the truth is, you're not going to be able to deal with this problem alone. We are human beings. We are not lone wolves, and you cannot progress past stage 1 of your reboot or recovery until you allow others to help you. And finally, trust is the key that ties everything together. You need to trust that a system can work for you, and you need to trust those who are helping you. Now, you don't need to start with all the faith in the world. I'd like you to experience a few wins as you go through this program, and then you'll see that we truly support you through the process. So a quick summary. In order for you to move on from stage 1 to stage 2 is called the early reboot or early recovery. You do have to accept the fact that you have a compulsive, out of control sexual behavior. You have to learn how to deal with and identify different withdrawal symptoms. And finally, you do have to have hope and trust in the system. Now, in the next session, I'll be talking about the early reboot or early recovery process.